we're going to, the upper is complete right now, so we're going to get started on the lower. The next 2 weeks, we're going to build out this lower. And then in the third week of that, we're going to do a function check. I have my lower parts kit here. We're going to do a headspace check, a function check, and then we were supposed to be in Alabama on the last week of that, and we were going to do a live fire from the range down there, but that show got pushed back to September, so we're not going to be in Alabama at the end of March. So we're going to have to figure out some other way to do the live fire test live on the show. So today we are going to do our mag release, our bolt catch, our trigger guard, and our front pivot pin. So in our lower parts kit, we have the fire control group. We have, here is our bolt catch and our mag release, along with our safety selector. This is the screw for the handle. We don't need that. So here's our trigger guard. We're going to need that. We're going to need a front pin here. And the detent that goes along with that. Now these little detents, you can see they're very tiny, right? Very tiny little detents, right? These are the things that always go flying that everyone loses. So hopefully I don't lose anything. And we're going to need this. Okay, that's all we need out of there. We're going to need a couple of springs here. We're going to need that spring. We're going to need this spring. And we're going to need one of these springs. Okay. And we'll get out the knife here. Cut that open. And we are going to need the bolt catch, the mag release button, and the mag release itself. Okay. The rest of this we can put aside for next week's show. All right. We are going to start with, and we're going to pull the magazine out of the box here because we're going to want to check. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and leave that one in the box because it just so happens that I have another magazine right here to do the magazine function check. So, magazine release. This is the magazine release. Okay. So, we drop that into place into the lower receiver. I have a lower receiver here that I bought from Palmetto State. So with this finger, I'm going to hold the mag release in place. I'll bring it up to you there, okay? So I'm holding the mag release in place. I'm going to take my large spring. This is the largest spring in the spring kit. I'm going to place it over top of the threaded stud. And I'm going to take the mag release button with the serrations out towards me, press it down onto the threaded rod over top of the spring, and get it started. And then I'm going to spin it until it is about flush. Then I'm going to press it in completely, and then I'm going to spin the mag release 3 or 4 turns until my button is below the surface of my lower receiver, and when I push, it doesn't escape out. It's trapped, okay? So it doesn't come out there, and it doesn't come out there. Now I'll do a function check with the magazine. to make sure, one, that it catches the magazine and locks it in place, and two, that with the press of the button, it releases the magazine. Okay, that's the mag release. Now, we're going to do the bolt catch. So we will take the small bolt catch spring right here, the bolt catch detent, which looks like a little, has two diameters, looks like a little bullet almost, goes over top of the spring. There's a hole right here in the lower receiver. Okay, that spring and detent drops in place. Then the mag release, or the the bolt catch, okay, goes into the receiver just like so. Okay, with the serrations up and the mag release pointing into the mag well. I'll bring it up so you can see. Mag release is into the mag well. The serrations on are up. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this in my block. Oh, you know what I didn't grab? I did not grab the pin, the roll pin that holds that all in place. Okay, small roll pin. Now I'm going to take my starter punch. Okay, if you've seen me do this before, you know I like to crimp my pins so that I kind of shrink the one end just a little bit, close it up, and it helps me get it started. Okay, so I've squeezed the one end so that it's a little narrower, and it helps it self-align itself and get started in that hole. Okay, so this becomes a little tricky. One of the more tricky aspects of doing this. Okay, I'll turn this around so hopefully Myra can zoom in here a little bit and show you kind of what I'm doing. All right, so you got to be a little nimble here, and you get this started, and you hold that all in place with your fingers, and you begin tapping that pin into place. Okay, alright, now I've hit a little resistance because I need to align. Okay, you'll feel it pop in. Alright, and then when you feel it pop in, you can go ahead and complete the process of then we turn it over. Now I'm going to turn this around facing me so I can see what I'm doing a little bit better. In fact, I'm going to show you my little trick for doing this. Okay, once the pin is pretty well started, okay, if you want to swing over here, Myra, I'll take my vise, just swing the top head there you go. I'm going to take my vise and actually use it as a press. Okay, and I am going to press that pin in the rest of the way with my vise. That way I'm not banging into my anodized lower receiver and scarring it all up. Okay, so now we have the mag release and the bolt release installed. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the front pin. Now you may have to really zoom in here a little bit, Myra, and I'll show you a little trick that I do when installing this. This is one of the detents and springs that can go flying a lot on guys, and they make a bunch of different tools for doing this. Okay, so here's what I like to do. I put the spring in, inserted fully into the hole. Then I lay the detent right across the top. Okay? Can you see it? Okay, you can see the detents laying right across the top of the hole. Then I'm going to take the pin, all right, and I'm going to use the pin. I'm going to put my fingers on either side of it so the pin doesn't escape. Then I'm going to use the pin to push the detent into the hole. I'm going to flip up, and boom, installed. That quick. Pretty cool, huh? I haven't ever lost a pin since I started doing it that way. Really slick. Okay. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is put the trigger guard on for this week. So, we've all seen on Facebook and different places where guys have been putting their trigger guard on, and they end up busting this tab off because as they're pushing the pin in, as they're tapping the pin in, it doesn't align properly, and they start pounding, and this is unsupported, right? There's no support there, okay? And they start banging and pounding, and bam, they snap that ear off, okay? So this is where having the right tool for the right job comes in handy. You take the bench block, and you can see that there is a support right there for that ear. There's something underneath that ear, so it can't there's support under it, so it can't be leveraged against itself, and it gets snapped off of there. Okay. So we're going to open up the trigger guard package. And again, I'm going to take my pin and I'm going to squeeze the end of it a little bit just to close it up, get a little smaller diameter, make it a little easier to start. So you're going to see one end of this, okay, has a spring-loaded D10 in it, and you're going to see that one end has a hole through it. You're also going to see on your lower receiver that the back ears, the hole is drilled completely through, okay? You can see that hole is drilled completely through. This hole on the bottom is not drilled completely through. It's blind. Okay? There's no hole coming through the other side. That is the end that the spring-loaded pin is going to go in. So what you do is you place in, you push down on the spring-loaded pin, and it snaps right in place. Okay? I've seen guys put them in backwards, and it's, you know, it's no big deal. It can come back out, but that's how that goes in. Now, putting this on the bench blocks with the ears supported, we're going to get our pin starter again. Wrong one. Need the bigger one. And we're going to get our little pin started here. Okay. And we're going to tap it. Okay. Now, again, I got it started, okay? And I'm going to come back over here to my vise again. just like I did before. And I'm going to use this vise as a press. And very lightly and gently and easily, I'm going to press that pin into place. And I'm not banging and pounding on my lower receiver and risking breaking that ear off. Okay? That's that. It's that simple. We've installed our magazine catch and release, our bolt catch, our front pivot pin, and our trigger guard. So next week we'll put the pistol grip on, the fire control group, and our butt stock. And the lower will be complete and we'll be ready to assemble the rifle. So